Start recording. Oh, and this one I'll put on YouTube, just as like the raw,
Ooh.
like we talked about. Alright, ready?
Yes, my desk was dusty.
Okay. Hello, and welcome back to Games My Guy podcast, the esports podcast by fans for fans. It's been a little bit of a time since we've last checked in, but I'm still joined by the ever blushing, the non-sick with COVID-19 Ethan Butler. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's been
Yeah,
health wise doing okay. Fandom wise, it's been a rough go with these past few weeks.
it really has. It's been a wild little time we've had, honestly.
It was let's just put all my top three teams might have been one's been doing okay, but the other two have looked less than competent.
Yes, it's
This
true.
is safe to say.
It's true. And since we do share one, at least one of the
It
same
should be two
teams,
because of Jerry, but
I mean, yes,
how can you
Jerry
not stand Jerry?
Jerry is a national treasure. He's a blushing boy.
He
He's
should
God's
be
gift to the
protected at all
village.
costs.
He should be. It's true. It's too bad he's on a Boston team. That's really it.
Why can't they be good? Like they haven't been good since stage I say good in quotes even since stage two of 2019.
Yeah,
It's
like
been it's been so long.
well, it's just the philosophy, man. Like the
I
philosophy
know.
of the team has always been so focused on getting new talent and breeding new talent, which is so healthy for the league. Not healthy if you're one team to just keep doing that over and over again and resetting their rosters.
Yeah. And I
Um,
appreciate their commitment to not ignoring lesser known regions, but I just want to be happy.
I want to win, in the
It was
words
so
of
good seeing
Nacho
them be
Libre.
exactly. It was so good seeing them beat Houston, but like, and they took a map recently off. It was Washington,
Hmm.
and they looked pretty good there.
Yeah,
But then it just kind of collapsed, and they just kept playing the one comp that clearly wasn't working
yeah.
after that one map.
That's true. Well, this show isn't called the Boston Poo Poo Baby Hour. This show is called Games My Guy. So we gotta talk about some games, man.
It's true. I can lament my team's shortcomings
Yeah, we'll talk about them
a
in
different time.
we'll talk about them in the context of the games themselves. But
Let's move on before I get too
yes,
sad.
I think we should address the elephant in the room, though.
Must we?
I think
We
it's
must. We
only
must.
fair for every podcast to talk about the ever growing pandemic of COVID-19.
Yes.
Um, well, I was very sick like 10 days ago. Like I had like a really bad flu. It only lasted the day, but I'm
Hmm.
still a little sick, and I was worried. So I went to a walk-in um, yesterday, and it was fine. They were just like, just monitor it, don't go outside. So now I'm in quote unquote quarantine for 2 weeks,
Wonderful.
as is most of the northern hemisphere.
It is true.
Yes,
Uh,
quite crazy, quite crazy.
and how are you dealing with your quarantine there, Patrick? What are you doing to fill the hours?
Well, another reason that there hasn't been a podcast in a while was our internet was down at my place, and it took a long time for it to get fixed. So now I'm just on the internet because it got fixed literally the day before my birthday, on March 15th,
Oh my
and
god.
it was glorious. Because if I didn't have internet right now, it would be a wild time. But the good news is that Overwatch League is not being affected. It's actually we're getting a buttload of games next,
It's
or
coming back.
yeah, it's coming back really hard and in a force.
This weekend's really light.
Yeah,
I think because they realized that for the next couple of weeks, if you're an Overwatch League fan, you may not sleep
yeah,
from
honestly,
Friday through Sunday.
yeah.
So they wanted to give us a weekend where it's all right. Have some. Here's just a couple. Have you wanted some San Francisco? You want some Dynasty? Here you go.
Take it.
And then shit gets real in about a week.
Mm.
It's gonna be nuts. Like, the games literally start. Well, depends on start at like 4 a.m. I think, because like it's the Pacific. Is it? No. What division would be like Shanghai, Guangzhou?
Oh,
So teams in that region
yeah,
are
yeah,
having
that's
are
right.
playing because they're all been the teams have been grouped together in certain groups depending on I think it's ping.
Right,
And so like yeah, that's why it's actually the same thing we've been with the homestand. So the time zones are just crazy. Well,
right.
for us here, like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. here is like not obviously the same time elsewhere because that's how the world works. But no, it's nuts. There is literally going to be I'll look it up now. 16 games next weekend
Oh my God.
within 3 days.
So I guess we're doing two long podcasts back to back.
All right, Patrick, we're going to log on at 3:30 in the morning so we
Yeah.
can get the pre-show, and we're not going to stop. We're going to live stream the whole day.
We don't leave. We just watch Overwatch. I mean,
Core and stream.
core and stream. You know what? Not a bad idea, honestly.
It's
Not a bad
not.
idea.
Also, I hope you like seeing Shanghai and this other team play each other 6 times because those teams like just play each other.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's
Um,
super cool to see them in action.
yeah, I have nothing else to do, so I think I can stay up and watch a couple games.
The gyms are closed. My brother came and took the only weights I had, and then I don't know about my work. The hours have been condensed, and I usually only get weekends, but
Mm.
so we'll see.
Oh geez, yeah.
And then school's closed, and
It's wild, man. It's wild out there.
yeah, I went to the mall yesterday because I needed face wash, and the face wash place was closed,
Oh my God.
and there was nothing open in the mall. It was a ghost town.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. My store is closed too.
Yeah.
We were open not yesterday, but the day before, so that would have been the 17th of
Mm-hmm.
March. And it was yeah. It was spooky. It was spooky out there. Oh man, but we've got some
Yes,
games to talk about. We
we've done.
have
We are done fear mongering.
fear
We are
mongering.
here.
It's over. We
We'll
we
talk about fearless later. We'll talk about games now.
Yes, we talk about being brave. All right. So week 4 is it was a long time ago. I had to rewatch some of the games, some of my favorite ones. But it was pretty full. It was pretty full of a lot of one-sided games, and then we had that
It
amazing Spitfire Outlaws game, which
was
came
great.
out of nowhere, which should have been, a tip-off to me that the Outlaws came to play these 2 weekends, but it didn't. It did not. Um, but that sad game we'll talk about later. So the way we're gonna do this podcast is we're gonna pick. Ethan and I have picked our favorite games of each day for each week. So we have a day 1 favorite and a day 2 favorite. So we're gonna cover 4 games intensively and maybe sprinkle a couple of other games in there
A
if
couple
we have
witty
time
anecdotes on
on a
things and this and that.
exactly. See, it's artistic. It's an artistic podcast that we run here.
We are classy boys,
Yes, we think of
fancy
quips.
lads.
We think of quips and
If a
alliterations.
certain game is very shallow and pedantic, we will call
Yeah,
them out. They
uh,
will know.
yes. This is we are very sophisticated, but this is
We
what
should.
so
We need robes and we need pipes stat.
yeah. So we're not covering like all of the games. We'll just be talking about our favorite ones. And I think we should start with yours. Did you have a favorite game from week 4, day one?
I did, but it's a very conflicting reason why it's my favorite game.
Okay.
My favorite game of day one was Toronto Defiant versus Atlanta Reign.
How dare you?
I know.
In
Hear
my
me
in
out.
my own home. Okay, please go ahead.
I will say this as my favorite teams in the Overwatch League in order are the Boston Uprising is number one. They're going all the way. They're going to win the championship this year. Um, then the Toronto Defiant is number two. They will come in second this year. Number three is the Atlanta Reign. So this game tore me apart.
Okay.
Because on one hand, I was like, oh no, this is so shitty. They're getting destroyed. I don't like this. Surefour is my favorite player. I want this to end, but in a different way. But on the other hand, I lost my mind when Potco got a 4K fire strike. And I was like, oh my God. I literally had jumped up. I was like, what the hell? It didn't compute. But
Yeah.
that game it was sad to say how much of a stomp it was. Like Gator's impact on that team, actually, I think he fully deserved playing the game in that match because his Orisa was outstanding. The halts were that fire strike wouldn't have happened without a halt for
Yeah.
one thing. His everything he did was like just the team felt way more coordinated during that game, and like they were able to take use of baby base skills on McCree. They had Erster just doing Erster things. Like it was nuts. And Dogman is playing really well, I think. And so his Baptiste is probably one of the stronger ones in the league right now that I've seen, because a lot of teams sometimes aren't running the Baptiste. But on the flip side, oh
It
God,
was very one-sided. I
yes.
didn't think it was over so quickly that whole game.
I'm looking
Um,
at the score now. Toronto took 1 point that whole game,
oh man.
and it was on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah. It's it's not skill. We know
No,
that. We know that. And like
yeah,
I don't want to talk about this like so much, but like
no, I know.
it's not a skill thing. It honestly these 2 weeks when you look back at the games and you rewatch them and like rewatching the Outlaws Defiant game was awful, but it's like a preparation thing almost.
Yeah,
Like it feels like their opponents are preparing for them way more than the Toronto Defiant are preparing for them. But it's also like it feels like they like because we saw it in week 4. We saw that they were not prepared for either of their matches. But week 5, you had the same problem.
hmm
It was just a lot of seemed like really mediocre preparation. Um, but
a
yeah,
lot of it can come down to at some point the finger. I don't know. It's still pretty early to be clear. I know we can only say that for so long, but still
yeah,
reasonably early in the season. But at some point, fingers have to be started to be pointed at Feifei
hmm,
because there's really strong players on this roster. You have your Surefours, your Logics, Kariv, Nevitz has shown a lot of strength in the past, and even in this season.
yeah,
And like even agilities, they all had some strong moments. At some point, the coaches have to be questioned. It's a similar thing with Boston. Like there's some the skill. I will freely admit, I think the skill is higher on Toronto right now.
yeah,
But like there's players on both teams that have potential. So at some point, it has to come down to whoever's helping them prepare, the coaches,
yeah. Cause
because
take
that's the yeah.
yeah, cause like take a team like the Outlaws. Honestly, take a team like the Outlaws who is bottom of
Mm-hmm.
every rankings, every power rankings, and also bottom in the league just from outcomes. Go into week 4 and 5 and have like an amazing week 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get your first win week 4 and then you followed up with a 3-0. Like it's
Over a strong Paris team.
over a very strong showing Paris Eternal team. Um Nothing changed.
No,
They got Linkser back, sure, but they didn't even play Linkser in every game.
they outplayed Toronto at their own game.
Yeah.
Like Muma bested Beast, I would argue, on Winston. Um, Blase's Doomfist is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
carries games alone on Doomfist. Dante Sombra is on another level. But Sureforce should be able to match Dante on Sombra.
On
But
paper, yeah.
Dante is just unreal at
Yeah.
those heroes, and they played the game Toronto wanted to play, but better.
Yeah, honestly. And it just like the difference you see with the Outlaws is that they're prepared. Like it's the micro of the game, like the micro gameplay that they're really focused on, like who you're hacking first as Sombra, and like when you see a team that's like posturing up in this position, they know how to deal with those situations because it feels like they've practiced for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the Outlaws just had like a really great weekend.
And we can talk about like we've been harsh on the Outlaws.
Yeah,
We took the stern parent approach, and when we sat them down a couple episodes ago,
yes,
and so it's nice to see them succeeding in some
totally.
ways because they had the potential and they were able to do it. But
Yeah,
Toronto has that same potential. They have arguably a better flex support. I would say that's arguably
yes,
is even
yeah,
that's almost a fact. Like I repel and Rogers, I don't think are as good as Karuf. Although maybe I'm biased and I love Karuf, but like I don't know. And
yeah,
like, on paper, it should be a even matchup,
for sure, for sure.
but they just did not work. But all right, so that was my favorite game.
Yeah,
It was Toronto versus Atlanta, but
Baby Bay looked really good.
he did.
Yes.
But like,
Oh boy.
it felt I was sad, but then I was like, oh yeah, Atlanta won. So I wanted them to look dominant because they were supposed to.
Yeah.
But then I didn't want them to win. But then I was okay. I wanted them to win, but I didn't want them to win. So it was a whole. That day was really, really, really weird for me. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to react.
Oh man. Yeah, well my favorite game from day 1 week 4 was Spitfire versus Outlaws. Um Not only because it was really cool to see Linkser back and see
Yes.
see actually what he does to the Outlaws team when he plays. Like it was very very cool. But also it was also really nice to see the Spitfire back in form.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a really really close game, and Linkser and Jexay made it very very close. But it was nice to see Spitfire back in form. It was really cool.
They have a lot of good players on that team. Like surprisingly good
Yeah,
players. Not so, I
yeah,
shouldn't be surprised, but considering how little was known about some of them, I think I mentioned before that like one of them didn't even have like a little Wikipedia page.
yeah,
Like there was nothing about this person,
yeah,
and then now they're in Overwatch League.
yeah.
I can't
Honestly,
remember who it was, uh, but yeah, no, they're playing really well. Like Blisters is crazy. Um, J-Match is like an interesting main tag because
yeah,
sometimes he pops the heck off, and sometimes he just feeds his brains out.
yeah. He's
So he's a bit of a Muma situation in some ways.
yeah, bit of a Mooba, bit of a Fraggy situation going on.
Oh,
But I think it's just like the pace of professional Overwatch game now, like the pace of the game is so much quicker. So it's almost okay to have like this like glass cannon Reinhardt player who can like just get 2 picks or get Earth Shatter first is almost more important than having someone who plays more consistently.
you
Um,
need that explosiveness for sure.
yeah, exactly. So like it works for Spitfire, but yeah, it's just something that I've kind of noticed. But Jexay on Lucio is probably the coolest. Probably one of the like other than FD God, who I think is probably the best Lucio in the league.
Funny Astro would like a word.
No man, FD God's nuts, but
Oh, he is, yeah.
Jexay's really really good. Um,
Oh,
in
he's
that
just so
game,
happy too.
yeah, he's so happy. He just seems like a really good like positive force on the team, and he's also nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. That was my favorite game. It was also really close, so it was
Yeah,
really
like
fun to
that
watch.
final map, like, it was like one of those one fight territory situations that just it could have gone either way. And games like that are super exciting.
Yeah, totally, totally. All right, so day 2, what was your favorite game for day 2, week 4?
This one's tough. I'm torn between because again, this is a reverse of what happened the day one.
Yeah.
because like there's just it's just, actually, you know what? No, it was just a bad day for me. Like I started watching. I watched all the games that day,
Yeah.
and like I said, I listed my top favorite teams as Boston, Toronto, and Atlanta.
Hmm.
Between the three of them, two maps were won. So like I thought Boston came out. I came out and did okay against Philly, but like my favorite game, I can't choose that game. That was hard to watch. Like
Yeah.
Jerry did what he could, but like there's only so much one Jerry can do. So I guess I'm gonna have to give it to I'm gonna give it to the Houston Outlaws versus Toronto. Fine. I hate to see Toronto lose, and I didn't like seeing them lose. But Toronto came out actually did really well in that first map.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be actually a Toronto stomp after that first map. Like
Yeah.
it was a back and forth, but like I think Toronto looked really strong,
Yeah.
and so I was really surprised to see them. And even map two, Teens Row was really close. But after Teens Row, I think the Outlaws kind of took them apart.
Yeah.
Like after that win, Toronto lost motivation, or like they lost the drive. Like the wind was taken out of their sails,
Yeah.
and they just couldn't get it back.
They
So
lost
that
their
game was hard to
momentum.
see. That's the word. I said
Yeah.
like every word but momentum.
No,
But
that's all good.
yeah, so I wanted to see them win, but like it's like me last year with Shanghai. I wanted to see them win, but just not like that.
Totally.
And so I wanted to see them get a win, but not here.
Totally. Not against us. Not against
No,
us. Yeah.
no.
No, totally. Um yeah, I noticed like a big thing with that game was like the Outlaws ult economy was a lot better.
Hmm.
They also got ultimates quicker, which it like even just like in that Kings Row match, like that first attack, like the Outlaws, like Muma had his ultimate way before Beast. Like, it
Yeah.
was just not even close. Yeah, that game was a stomp. It was hard to watch too. But like it was nice. It was a nice way to end the week. End, I guess, being at a
Yeah.
Houston homestand. It was nice to see that.
Those
Yeah,
fans are so passionate, so it's nice to see them happy.
yeah, just not
I
against us.
guess. No, that's the thing. Outlaws, listen. We like you, but like as a friend.
Yeah, not
So
that
we
much. Not in that
no, we
way.
like we don't like you, but like we're homies.
Yeah,
We just don't want to kiss you,
exactly.
mostly because you guys are sick all the time. But
Oh man.
oh god, yeah, that was. There's only so much we can say really about that game because like Toronto had some good moments on map one, but and I thought it was gonna be. I sat after that map. I was like, oh hell yeah! Put my arms back. I was ready to go. I was like, this is gonna be a great day. Finally, I've had a rough day. Toronto, thank you for bringing this back for me. It did not go that way.
No,
Oh
no.
my goodness.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
it
see. We'll
happens.
see what kind of adjustments Defiant make. But
I've That's not really a rumor per se, but recently Toronto Finance Academy team, the Montreal Rebellion, parted ways with main tank Shane,
yeah,
and he said on Twitter, he said, I believe, I had great time with Montreal Rebellion. Watch for me, big things to come,
yeah,
and the little eyes. I think.
yeah.
Again, I'm literally pulling this out of my ass, and I don't think it's happening. Chain to Defiant?
Maybe, maybe,
If I'm right, I want something.
maybe. It's
Again, I doubt it, but like it's just and
yeah,
not. It's not like I don't think that's their main issue, but just
yeah,
having someone who could challenge Beast even might be nice, just to push him to motivate him even more than he already is. But because I find that's very good for most teams to have someone who can challenge you for that spot, and it forces you to play harder.
yeah. It gets the better. It gets you better, and it also gets the most out of you when
Yeah,
you have like healthy competition. Yeah, I don't think it's a honestly. I don't think it's a skill thing.
no,
Defiant beats Outlaws 9 times out of 10. To be honest, I just think they need whoever's prepping them. Like if it is like the head coach is actually like in the scrims, working on like the micro decisions, then I don't know. But they obviously something in their preparation needs to change.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's just it with that one. My
But
favorite game.
I
Oh,
was going to say
sorry. Yeah,
yes.
go
What
for
is
it.
your favorite game?
My
I was very.
yes, yes.
I've been lamenting for too long. I
No,
need some.
it's just
Make me happy, Patrick.
it's so easy to get in the hole. It's so easy to get in the hole of why are we bad. But
Yeah.
my favorite game of day 2 was Paris versus Atlanta Reign. 100%.
Yeah.
That was a sick game.
Yeah.
Like I understand you're a Reign fan, but
Oh no, I'm.
Paris is very good, man. FD God,
Yes.
I after watching that game, I was like, I think FD God's the best Lucio in the league.
He's a very fun Lucio to watch,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and he just always he just seems to always be in the right position. He's super aggressive, but he peels really hard. Like he's always beside his like the rest of the team. Oh, I'm getting a call to give blood. I can't
Oh
answer you.
shit.
I can't answer you right now. All right. Yeah, but yeah, so I just think he's a really good. Also, Hanbin had a really great game, and XYZ had a really game.
Yeah.
XYZ X
Eggsy.
XCI XZ had a really. They both had a really great game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. That was the. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was still Ben Best and Nito in, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. 'Cause that was before the Reinhardt ban.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, that was the week before the bans came in. All right, because well, it doesn't hurt that Ben Bass has actually been showing up pretty big on Reinhardt as well.
Yeah.
Like he's been playing. I think the new coaching staff has really helped to elevate Ben Bass' game.
Yeah.
Because last year it was between him and Cloudy, like every stage, every other stage, one of them was in, and like they couldn't seem to sell on a main tent because they were both underperforming. But that could have been just the environment of Paris last year.
Yeah.
But now he's seems to be like a dedicated Reinhardt specialist, and that's fine. Like if you need someone to play something else, you have somebody who's himself has his own struggles, but if he can continue to play well with Winston and Narisa, and they can both lead the team when they're in at different times. You can have a very good system in place that one don't get burn out, and you can also have them just play the heroes they're really good at instead of stressing about if they're messing up or fucking up on the heroes they're bad at.
Yeah, and the hero ban system that's come in really helps in that team mentality. Like if you're just working with specialists,
Yes.
yeah, that works very well for a team who like wants to have just a Reinhardt specialist, or in the case of Philadelphia, wanting just to have a Doomfist specialist.
Oh my god. I love how they sign him, but then they've never played him, of course. But anytime the Doomfist has been played, Carpe actually just pops off on Doomfist. So everyone just looks like, why the hell do you have chips? They pop. Carpe's probably a better Doomfist.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm excited to watch that team this weekend. That'll be good.
Philly?
Yeah.
I don't play this weekend.
Oh, they play. Oh, they play in the 16. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, good grief. All
I
right.
think they do. Wait,
I thought I saw them on
they
the.
do. Yeah, they play against Toronto on April 5th.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be
Oh
fun.
my goodness.
That'll be
Wait,
fun.
where am I? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think week 4, Houston was a cool homestand. Those fans are great.
Yeah,
Some people don't like them because they're a little noisy.
yeah,
Fair, but that was the Blizzard Arena. It was. Yeah, Houston was loud. Sorry,
yeah. No, it's fair. It's super fair.
but they had a great time,
Yeah,
and
for
their
sure.
homestand looked pretty fun.
Yeah, it looked like a good one. Well, on to week 5, where we are moving from Houston to Washington for the homestand.
Mhm.
Yeah. What to say about this weekend? It was super light. Weren't a lot of games, but I don't know. I think it was just everything was soured. That whole weekend was soured from the Defiant Mayhem loss for me.
Yeah, it's one of those maps that Toronto. It's super weird with them. Like they start out this season by seemingly being incapable of winning map 1 of Control.
Yes.
I think it's Control. Yeah, but then doing really well after that.
Hmm.
But now they're kind of doing the reverse, where they win the first map reasonably handedly, and then just disappear.
and then just can't do anything else.
It didn't help that Sherford didn't exactly have his best game.
Yeah,
He was kind of non-existent.
yeah. He really didn't show up. Also, Gargoyle was playing insane.
Gargoyle.
Gargoyle's pretty good. Yeah, that one was really bad.
I should have believed that their graphic designer Anthony on Twitter. He was hyping them up for months,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Oh no!" And well, here we are.
Yeah, here we are losing to Mayhem.
The, Mayhem's also another team though that's kind of weird. That they're like, I think I was watching a video where someone made a point where they said they're beating the. I don't want to say they should be. They shouldn't be beating Toronto, but they're saying like they're beating teams that they should be beating, but they can't seem to beat other teams. Like they can't seem to beat teams that are consistently ranked higher than them
Right.
a lot of the time.
Right.
They're a team that's decidedly middle of the pack right now.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna win the championship. They could maybe if they did keep moving forward, but at this current state, they're kind of decent.
I always thought that Mayhem had a high skill ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take beating better play, like winning against NYXL. It's gonna take one of those kind of wins. But yeah, I think Mayhem are on the rise. I think that we'll probably see them high in the playoffs. But I mean, well, only time will tell at this point.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite game for day 1, week 5?
I was really hoping it was going to be Boston versus Washington.
Right.
And it started out like it was going to be. Boston won the map.
Yes.
They looked good. Then it was a stomp.
Yeah.
And so that is not my favorite game, despite seeing Movement play Sigma. I don't know what, even though they have Brucein, which is fine. No, my favorite game of day 1 was the Houston Outlaws versus Paris Eternal.
That was my favorite as well.
Yay!
Yeah,
yes.
We linked up.
We did it.
Yeah.
Well, how could it not be, though? That was like Toronto stomp, Boston stomp. Good God, the Outlaws made the Paris Eternal look like like us.
Yeah, they made us look like common fools.
Common plebs.
Yeah, that was
it was
sick game.
Crazy. I think it was Havana, which was oh my goodness. Eichenwald was probably my favorite map to watch, but Havana had some of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Just Blase Doomfist bursting out of the spawn and like killing 4 people. The Paris looked like they were about to win, and Blase said no and just punched his way through everybody. Like he just destroyed.
Yeah, made his way all the way through. No, Eichenwald was the best map with Muma's Great Escape. Escape defending.
It was Muma's Great Escape, Muma's Excellent Adventure, whatever you want to call it. It was. I was watching some highlights of it today. He just leaps into the bat, tries to get the Zen, fails, and then just like but he knew he was fine. He was calculated risk because like he had the primal, but just him like. Paris sent like half their team to deal with Muma.
Yeah.
And then just the rest of Houston just filtered onto the point and was like stepped up.
It was good.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, it was very, very good. Meko, I think, is finally found his place, just like the play style that he has with the Houston Outlaws. He's really good, man.
Oh yeah, Meko's
like that.
Great.
That because they played on Dorado. Is it that the right game I'm thinking of?
Was this Paris versus Houston?
Yes.
They did Oasis, Havana, and Eichenwald.
Eichenwald, okay. Oh, sorry, Havana.
Yeah.
When Meko got that one Diva bomb that went off,
yes.
that like landed perfectly behind that, perfectly behind that like quarter wall. Mm-hmm. That was sick. Got those 2 kills. And Muma was playing a lot better this week as well.
It's nice to see that because like you always know Muma can do great things, but he just seems to struggle a lot. He has the potential to be a really strong main tank, but he just maybe gets his own head about certain things. Like we talked about him just looking absolutely miserable for the first couple of weeks, and then. I never thought of him as a bad Reinhardt though, but he just seemed to be really struggling. And then finally, just to play Winston, and he's like, yeah, he's always Winston's his strongest hero, yeah, but like, it was just nice to see Muma popping off. See the whole team playing well
Yeah,
together.
the whole team kind of played with a little bit of swagger.
Oh my
It was
God.
good. It was good. Yeah,
The,
and
the,
that kind of goes back to the whole preparation thing. Like
mhm.
nothing really changed about this team except I guess the way they prepare for these games. And it's working for them. Like working hand over fist for them. But yeah, so we had the same favorite game for day 1. Day 2, what was your
I
favorite
think
game?
we're gonna have the same one again.
Really?
I'm going with Paris v Philly.
No, that was not my
No,
favorite. No,
what?
no, no, no,
What?
no.
Did you watch Paris v
I
Philly?
did watch Paris v
The
Philly.
final fight, Patrick.
The final fight.
It's,
Well, it was a very very good game. It was a very very good
it
game.
was
But
almost a reverse sweep, and
yes,
then that final is a minute and a half of pure madness.
yes. Okay, no, that was a very exciting game. The other one, the game I picked was more
All
of
right,
a
go
meme.
ahead with your
But
foolishness.
no, 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 no. We need to talk about that game first.
All
Yes,
right. Wait, man, you said memes?
the game I picked was more
You
for the
bastard.
memes. More for the
I feel like I
memes.
know what it's going to be, so I'm not going to. I'll get to you later.
Yes.
But yeah, that game, I remember watching it because I think I was on set, and it was one of the worst. It was a weird set, but like, so I was working as the second AD slash DMT, so I was just responsible mostly for backing up the footage. So I spent a lot of the day at a computer.
Okay.
I had the day going. So I was like, well, everyone's doing their job, might as well do mine while I have some fun. And yeah, I remember that first. Good God, it looked like a quick 3-0 for Paris. They
100%.
raised out the gate. Soon on Tracer was popping the heck off, and it was beautiful. I love Soon is so good. I love Soon, and I was mad at him for leaving the Valiant, but like whatever. And so it was so cool. But then all of a sudden, Philly woke up, and they made a hacking game of it. They destroyed on Blizzard World.
Yeah.
Avant Hanamura, they were like, no, let's go. We're going to win this. And then Oasis was one of the closest. Like, that final fight could have gone anyway. It was such a close game.
Yeah.
Like, Funny Astro and Alarm were popping up. Like, the heals from them were outrageous. They had, that was for Philly, that was one side, but Etsy and Soon. Etsy on Soldier, I think, what it was, he got a quick kill. I think he demeched Poto twice in like the same fight and then like killed him. As Poto sent the bomb up, I think as he was falling, as he shot him and killed him as a soldier. It was I've watched that fight so many times. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah. The last fight was pretty nuts. Um I I could not believe like after the first 2 games I could not believe that Philly had anything left in them really.
Yeah,
That was nuts. That was
it
nuts.
was it was
But
crazy.
I should have believed in my boy Carpe all along. I should have always believed, always known that he was the best.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah, it was
oh
such a good. Oh my
boy.
god, no, I was loving it. It was so fun.
Is that your favorite game so far in the Overwatch League?
Hell no. I believe you recall that what it's been lovingly coined as the toilet bowl.
Still
I
your
will say
favorite?
Boston v Houston. Nothing makes me happier than hearing a crowd chant Jerry, watching Jerry pop off and then jump off a ledge,
Yes.
and then flex literally at the end, and see Moofin drop a F bomb in the interview. It was great.
Yeah. Those children, those little
They're just
boys.
they're just little boys,
Yeah.
and they just want to play the game, but no one will let them.
Sorry, I'm dying. Yeah. Well, my favorite game
Please
was
go on.
precisely the game you're probably thinking of.
Uh-huh.
The 3-0 reign over Boston.
It was a travesty. It was a bamboozle. It was betrayed. Such betrayal I've never felt.
Those, I literally wrote in my notes, those men beat those boys up.
It was oh god. It
It
was tough
was,
to watch.
yeah, it was just a bamboozle. It was just a clown fiesta. Um, but I mean, Rain was gonna win that game no matter what. To be honest.
Ugh, just if Hawk would have just let Colorheads have some fun, like it would have been really nice for a map. He tried the Pharaoh, but he just I don't know, like Jerry popped off a couple times like on Havana Point A, I think it was.
Yeah.
But just that team needs to. I love them to death, and they will always be my favorite team. Something is not working, obviously. Is it Huck? And like you talked about the general philosophy of the team.
Mm.
It's true. Should they maybe because if this is now keeps going on, is it time for Huck to go? Like, because he's the one who's ultimately in charge of. He hires the coaches. He has final say anything on the roster. Nothing against Mineral. I think the players really like Mineral.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'd be a good assistant coach.
Yeah.
But my question was, should they think about whoever's running second wind in contenders? You guys have the money, Boston. Throw it at them. Because second wind is killing it. They just need to. For one thing, they don't have enough players. They really don't. Like they brought up another support player, which is fine, which sure, because they have 3 supports, they have 4 tanks, and 2 DPS.
4 tanks.
They have
I've not.
Fusions, Axiom, Mufin, and Brucin.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I was thinking 4 main tanks. Yeah.
No, yeah, they have like 2, but they need to upgrade their DPS slot time. I think Jerry actually is great. I think he actually could be really good. Colorheads is great too. I think has the moments, but when they're not playing great, they need someone to turn to, and they don't have Munchkin anymore, so they can't do that. So my first idea was for them they trialed Vizility a while back, and they should have brought him on,
Mm-hmm.
but then they didn't, and now Vizility's not really playing Overwatch anymore.
Jeez.
And so I'm like, you need to pick someone up, someone with some pop up potentially. I want Fisher or Vizility, both of whom don't really play Overwatch now. So you got like Leaf could be good from these French. I don't know, man. I just
I'm
that was
grasping
such.
at straws over
I'm grasping at
here.
straws here. I'm not a coach. I just want my team to do well, and like I love Atlanta. I was happy to see them do well. It was really cool to see like Gator and Hawk together. I think it was, or was it Poco and Hawk? Was Poco? No, I think it was Gator, right?
Gator played a couple, yeah.
Oh yeah, because Gator I think is the right main tank for this team. Poco is great, but Gator has that. He has that swagger. He has that confidence.
Yeah.
He's everything you need your main tank to be.
Yeah, he gels with their culture. And I think he gels with their
Well,
comms culture as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think Gator is a game changer for the Reign.
Yeah, and I think him and Hawk, since they played together for so long, have great synergy.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, it was a stomp. And anytime the Reign is winning, they're always so fun to watch, just because
Yeah,
there's so much emotion, so much hype behind them.
bastards.
But yeah. So that was my favorite game. Also just to meme on you.
It was just. I remember watching the start. I always go into every game thinking it's going to be good. I always think I have a very positive mindset every time I watch Boston play. Because I don't know. You never know what's going to happen with that team. Most of the time,
Yes.
it's going to be bad right now, but maybe it won't be. And I like to hope
In the
because
long run, yeah,
there's a 10% chance they might win. And
it's
I'm not
true.
going to be the guy who doesn't pick them in the one time they win. And so we in the Boston fandom are eternally positive, maybe
Yeah,
blissfully blind to faults by choice, and we just don't like to look at it.
yeah. You follow until. Well, honestly, you sound like a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Yeah,
You follow until we win.
we are
Something.
the eternal that dog surrounded by fire drinking coffee meme. This is fine.
This is fine.
This is
Everything
good.
is
This is
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
There's no Jerry got a kill. He killed Carpe once in that one game. That's good.
That's
Carpe
good.
killed him 20 other times, but that's fine.
That's good. The team's on the rise.
just you watch. Jerry's gonna level up, and yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh
Fusions will start playing good again, and he better. I have 2 of his jerseys. That guy, I bought Fusion stonks early on, and I'm a little worried about my investment right now
man.
because people are calling for his head, and they want Axiom back, even though Axiom's getting a medical procedure done.
Oh my god.
And so,
Jeez.
please.
We
I,
will have to keep tabs in the podcast on how Axiom is doing.
I won't lie though. I just checked what Boston's next game is, and we're going to be a bit of a tiff here. It's versus the Defiant.
That's the next game.
Yeah, in week 8. Is this another toilet bowl?
Oh,
Who will win?
my God! No. Toronto's gonna figure it out. We'll be fine by week 8. We'll be fine by week 8.
You sound like me every game of Boston.
We will.
They're going to figure it out.
No. Toronto's gonna figure it out by week 8. There's no way.
I once thought like you, Patrick. I once had those hopes.
Oh Don't, I'm sick.
I once believed.
No.
When Boston traded no for FCK, I said this is good for everyone. When Persia started playing, I said maybe he'll be good. When they signed some randos, I said yes, Boston. This is the team. When everyone ranked them 20th, I said you're wrong.
Fine.
I've not been right.
All right. You're killing me. I'm dead.
I just want to be happy.
It'll happen.
I want to be either with Toronto or Boston. I just want someone to be good.
It'll be Toronto. I promise you this. It will be.
They play New York too next week, man. Boston plays Toronto and New York. Why does it hit me?
Jeez. Okay. So now that I've coughed up a lung, I think that's the end of our podcast.
Yes, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
Well, I'm losing my mind.
It will be good. It will be good. Well, thank you for listening. Again, this has been Patrick Avery Kenny and Ethan Butler. If you have any questions or comments, or you just want to tell us how bad we're doing, you can email us at gamesmyguypodcast@gmail.com. Also follow us on Twitter, which Ethan is our lovely curator of. What's the tag at?
For Twitter, our tag that we fought for is at GamesMyGuy.
Huh?
Capital G, capital M, capital G.
Pretty good, eh?
We're up to about 17 followers, so we'd like some more.
Join the mob. Join the small gathering that we have.
Join the McGuys.
Join the McGuys. That's good.
We'll work on the name for that.
We will also be posting the raw footage of this podcast on YouTube, and that is also Games My Guy. And we will also have that in the section below for you to click on. But that is everything. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you at the end of this 16-game monster of a weekend. Or sorry, that's next weekend.
Yep. We'll have a nice, lovely, relaxing weekend.
A nice, calm little 30-minute boy, and then we'll hit you with another 45-minute to 1-hour podcast.
Yes.
All right.
And as always, thank Mr. Logic.